Hello everyone, welcome back to another CAPS video. My name is Surya and I'm a grade 12 student studying in Toronto. Today we'll be talking about Western's MIT program and Ivey with a current undergraduate student to tell us more about it. Can you introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, so my name is Jessie and I'm from Toronto. I'm currently in my third year of Western studying HBA1.
Great, so we'll just get straight into the questions. So can you describe Western, the MIT program, and Ivey so far for you?
Yeah, so I think Western's such a great university. I think for those who had the opportunity to tour the campus, you can tell that a lot of the students are very spirited and proud to be at Western. I think it's really unique because you get to, well, for me, I'm from Toronto, so I got to live in more of a smaller city, and it's really cool because everywhere you go, you run into someone from your class because everyone's so tight-knit. If you're living on campus, you get the opportunity to live in residence. And it's super cool because they always encourage you to get to know each other. Even virtually, I know they have a lot of cool socials. So in my first 2 years, I was in MIT, obviously, and that stands for Media, Information, and Technoculture. I think it's a super unique program that not enough people know about. I think it's really cool because you get to know technical skills. I got to learn Photoshop, and I know other people studied film and media law, but you also learn critical thinking. There's a lot of essay writing, but they really help you learn how to write effectively and efficiently, which is a skill that applies to any industry you want to go into. And then, of course, Ivey. So I'm in my first year of Ivey right now, and it's definitely different because it's virtual this year, but the profs have been super accommodating. Contribution is a huge part of your grade, so the profs understand it can be difficult to get your opinions into the class. So they've really incorporated asynchronous activities such as discussion boards, as well as opportunities to do a lot of group activities together, even though it's virtual. So I definitely recommend going into Ivey or MIT.
So why did you choose Western over the other universities you applied to?
Yeah, that's a great question. From the start, when I was in grade 10 or 11, I always thought I'd probably go to U of T or something because that's what my older brother did, and it felt the most natural. But then as I got older, I was really considering what I wanted to do. And then business and marketing has always been something that began to pique my interest. And I knew about the Ivey program, which is one of the best amongst Ontario universities. So I was wait, this is super cool. So after looking into business programs, I decided when it comes down to the top business schools Schulich and commerce and everything, I thought that it would be just a greater growth opportunity to live away from home for my first time, and it really pushes you outside of your comfort zone. And that's exactly what happened. So I definitely don't regret my choice. And I think if you feel it's daunting or scary at first, it really isn't, because a lot of people across Canada are all going to this small town, London, and all are going through the exact same thing as you. So it's super easy to make friends.
Wow, that was great. So how was the AEO application process in high school? Was it difficult to maintain your AEO status in your program?
I know that the AEO application is a little different from my year to current years now, because when I was in high school, I had to write about 3 main extracurriculars, and I talked about 2 extracurriculars and how my leadership was worked through that. For the AEO application, you have to write about your breadth and your different experiences. So I talked about my marching band experience, but also my swim team captain experience and my business experience. And that's what Ivey really likes. And Ivey also really encourages you. It's not just marks. They really like breadth of experiences, which is really cool, because I like to get involved rather than just focus on grades all the time. And I think in terms of maintaining the average, I think it pushes a lot of people away, because it's oh, I have to maintain this average, and when I go to university, my mark's going to drop to a 50. But that's really not true. I think If you can handle high school, you can definitely handle university because you have so much time on your plate. It's not like in high school where you have like classes every day and like homework every day. You literally have like lectures, maybe like the same course once or twice a week, but as long as you can like plan ahead and schedule, you'll definitely be okay. So I think in terms of managing the average, like I think the students will be fine.
So onto your course load, and I guess you could talk more about MIT first. How much work did you expect per week, and how are you managing right now with the online format?
Okay, so in terms of MIT first, right? For MIT, I think it's really unique because in your first year, I think there's only like 2 mandatory courses. So I really had a lot of freedom. Honestly, I thought it was pretty much like a breeze because I think that I was able to manage my time effectively. And because of that high school mindset, I kind of like learned how to study. And it really helps if you utilize a lot of the resources on campus, if you're really scared about like your first exam or how to study effectively. So I went out to a lot of like education centers on Western for free to like learn those tools. Coursework, there's a lot of assignments in MIT, so I didn't really have the stress of like cramming for an exam during reading week. To be honest, during reading week, I basically did nothing in my first year because I literally had nothing to study. It was literally writing an essay and submitting it. For HBA, I think it's definitely more work in terms of it's like going back to high school again, which is why I think the program is unique because you literally have like classes every day with like different props and everything, whereas like in your first 2 years you have that class maybe once a week, but this is like every day with the same people. You have to like do homework and then hand it in the next day or like contribute. But I think it's still like about managing your time and not beating yourself up about it. I think a lot of people when they miss homework or they're like behind in school, they start to like really beat themselves up and just like give up all together, which is totally natural. But I think just being able to be like, you know, it's okay if I didn't do this homework for like one day, I'll just like keep doing the others and then go back when I have time.
Yeah, I know that Ivy has a case-based learning, so do you enjoy that?
Yeah, I think it's definitely fun and more applicable to life. I think with regular like courses like BMOS and everything, you're learning the tools, but you're not necessarily like applying it to life. I think the most important thing that Ivy teaches you is making assumptions. And that's something you always hear in like the workforce when people are talking about Ivy, because in real life, when you're creating like projections for like financial reports, or just like marketing or looking at like data, you're not always going to have like an absolute number in your head. So being able to have like the critical thinking ability to like just pick a number and move on rather than getting stuck is something that I don't think traditional business courses teach you. But at Ivy, you're always going through different cases like how do we promote this product? And then reading through different problems that other business leaders have had in the past and actually like go forth with it.
Do you think like your experiences with like MIT helped with your work in Ivy now?
I think it's definitely like a really unique experience that I definitely apply to Ivy or even in the workforce, because MIT, as I said, it really teaches you how to write concisely and persuasively. And there's so many people in Ivy from different streams and backgrounds, and some prefer like quant or some prefer more like qualitative. And I think because of MIT and my background, I'm really like strong in writing persuasively because we're always submitting reports. It's not just about the numbers. You have to like tell your prof or your like employer, like, why do these numbers matter? And that's literally what I do every single day. And also just like the creativity side, when you create like business reports, they want it to be like fancy, or same with like PowerPoints. Like there's some consultants at like BCG who like literally their job is to like create PowerPoints and make sure they're really pretty.
So can you talk about the social aspect and how easy it was to make friends and get involved?
I think whenever you like bring up that you're from Western, a lot of people are like, ooh, it's a party school and everything, which is definitely true at times. But I think like I have a lot of friends who aren't into partying at all, and you can definitely find your crowd no matter what. And even though you might not like partying, I feel like you'll still have a chance to like fit in and make friends, because it's not only about that, it's about like the experience of just like getting to know each other and like studying together. And I think the difference from university and high school, like the biggest leap, is that when you're in high school, you're always surrounded with each other, and it's kind of like circumstantial and everything, and you get to know each other that way, which is why university can be like a little harder in general, because everyone has their own like stuff to do, stuff to study. They might be taking different courses than you, so you might not see them every day. But it's literally like taking the initiative to like make plans with your friends, or like go to the library together and like make study plans, or like little things like that will go a long way. And then naturally you'll be okay.
What are some opportunities that students can participate in?
So a lot of opportunities. So we have a lot of business clubs. We have the Western Marketing Association. We have the Pre-Business Society. We have Founders Network, Women in Tech, W5, which is like an entrepreneurship club. We have Ivey Business Review. We have like a lot of other more like volunteer-based ones like Enviro Western. So there's definitely a lot to do on campus. And if you're really trying to get into like Ivey, it's totally okay if you don't just do business clubs, because as I said, like Ivey likes a breadth of experience. So just showing that you only care about business won't really differentiate yourself. So it's important to just do things you really love on campus and show you're passionate and take that initiative, rather than just like following everyone else.
Do you think that Ivy sets you up to have co-op opportunities or internship placements?
Oh, definitely. Like career management is like super great at Western or Ivy in general, because of first, like the alumni program is super strong. Like if you go on LinkedIn as like an HBA student and you like randomly reach up to like recruiters or like HBA2s, everyone's super helpful. Like they want you to like find a job. They want to have coffee chats with you. And the career services is really great because they teach you how to write a resume and a cover letter. And like like the summer before HBA, they made all the HBA ones submit their resume to the Career Center in a certain format that they found like most effective, and like screen them to make sure it was like approved, which makes you feel like more confident about yourself, because obviously people are like nervous, like is my resume good or not? And there's like so many information sessions like all the time. Like you literally just go on the online portal and like go to any company you want. So there's definitely a lot of like career help in that sense.
That's great. So is there anything else that you'd like to add or share with the high school students watching?
I guess no matter where you end up, I think just have fun and get to know others. I think university is not the end all be all. Like it's not just like the name of the university, it's like what you do there. So just like take initiative and like live in the moment. Don't always just think about jobs and school. It can be stressful, especially in these like times, but try to like have some fun.
Thank you so much for sharing your experiences with us today. Those are all the questions we have. If any of you watching have any questions, feel free to comment them down below or message us through our social media accounts. Thank you so much, Jessie, for interviewing us with us today, and we'll see you guys in the next CAPS video.